job. Old is the correct. That's what it is.
Come on in, have a seat. About to get started.
I'm a little late. Leave tonight
It won't be today, but I'll do it.
Hi, come on in.
Looks like you got a full house here. Glad you all could make it. Give one more minute for them to come in. Alex, you're sitting on right up next to Madison up front here.
Hi, Alex. Oh my gosh. Hi.
Okay. What time is it?
It is 4 o'clock.
It's GPS graduation time. Celebrate that we have these graduates up front. They've been working very hard for 5 days. We have packed our whole program, all the principles of success, the values that they need to have to steer them to a wonderful future in 5 days. They've invested their summer, right? Now, a lot of teenagers spend their summer, right? And often it's in front of a TV or a video game or social media. But these kids decided to invest their 5 days of this summer in preparing for their future. So that's why we play the Star Wars. It's kind of like out of this world, right? They're amazing. Share with you a quick journey on our 5 days together here. So first of all, Miss Debbie and I, we run Character GPS out of Tampa, Florida. So I'm Jeff, my wife Debbie back here. We are a team working together. We have a board. They're all down in Tampa, Florida. But we have great sponsors and partners here in North Tonawanda.
Yes, we do.
So first I'd like to just make note here. We have Alex Demorowski, who is going to be our keynote speaker. And his Parks and Recs, and what's the official title, Alex?
Parks and Rec.
Okay, there we go.
All right, that's awesome.
We also have some special guests I saw coming in earlier.
Mayor Austin.
Mayor Austin is here. 3 years ago, we had Mayor Art Pappas was here. So thank you for coming. And I saw Bob Pecorella, right?
President of the
Council President.
Council President,
Chamber
okay.
of Commerce.
Many different things. And Kathy and Steve are just walking out the door before I can introduce them, right? They are the heads of Nat's Music, which we are so thankful for sponsoring us this week. We have this beautiful theater here to work in. And we also have some family members. Our sister Liz is here. And we have Barb. And where's Marty? Marty, part of our family here. There's Katie. And we have Elijah, who will be the youngest Character GPS graduation attendee, right? He's ready for GPS.
And Pastor,
So this is
also.
our mission. We are equipping kids to be ready to handle the crazy world we live in, right? And so we want them to know the tools for success so they can get to their wonderful future.
Hey Jeff, if I could.
Yes, Bob.
Randy Brandt is an Idaho County legislator. He doesn't like to be
Thank you.
recognized.
We did
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for coming, Randy.
Is there anyone else?
The pastor.
Oh, pastor,
Grove
yes.
Street Christian Church.
There he is.
Hey, Pastor, thanks for
Grove Street Church.
coming. Thanks, Bob.
All right, so we have celebrated this last December our 10th year of Character GPS, of preparing kids for their amazing future. So this is our 10th anniversary mug, and it has our favorite quote from Martin Luther King, right? His dream that his kids would not be judged by the color of skin, but the content of their character, what's on the inside. So you're going to kind of learn how we do this. So here's kind of a quick video to explain what our program's about.
Our young adults are surrounded by negative influences from the media and problems like bullying, disrespect, and lying. Character GPS can help our communities get back on track. The students are engaged in 8 weeks of interactive multimedia workshops that focus on real-life application of 16 character values. Lessons include practical exercises, action plans, and assessments to help integrate these values into thoughts and actions. Let's all work together to steer our children and communities toward a better way.
So, we don't want our kids just to be compliant. I mean, it's good when they can follow the rules and everything, but we want them to have what we call the internal compass, that they know the values and principles that are inside, so when they're challenged by their peers or anything in life, they have the tools to make the right decisions and be able to take control of their lives and not be pressured, as often people are these days, pressured into things. Come on in. We've got seats, they still around. We've got a full house. That is great. There's seats up front here too. So our program addresses 10 behavioral problems. This is what happens to kids when their needs are not met. They act out. They have symptoms, right? And all of these, bullying, cheating, stealing, and we worked on an ad campaign. The kids had to kind of explain why you don't want to do these things. But it all boils down to low self-respect and self-esteem. When our kids don't feel good about themselves, they're going to have challenges. They're going to have problems. So we've been working all week to help our kids learn that they have an extreme amount of value. In fact, how much you guys worth? Priceless, exactly right. And it doesn't matter what happens in life. You were born priceless. You are now priceless. You will always be priceless. Even when you make a mistake, how much are you worth?
Priceless.
Even when the bully tells you you're no good, how much are you worth?
Priceless.
Because the bully, though, is the person that has the problem, right? So actually, we can feel sorry for the bully, and we actually learn not only how to stand against the bully, but we also know how to help a bully, right? Because they're hurting on the inside as well. So here are our 16 core values that the kids were learning this week. And then once you believe these values, why they're important, you then need to learn how to practice them, because that's what the payoff in life is, right? So we learn it and we practice it. And kids, how many days does it take to build a habit?
30.
30 days, right? So they got 5 days working on this, so you parents now can help them on the other 25 days, and then they've got the habit. Now, as we go through this overview here, we always love to get the feedback from the parents. So where is Jack? Where is
Jack's
Jack?
right here.
Okay, if you are a parent of our GPS graduate, if you raise your hand, he's going to bring you a evaluation so you can give us feedback on the program. So please, parents, proudly raise your hand that these kids are yours, right? Or relatives if you want to fill out an evaluation. And Jack will come around and give you an evaluation. If you need something to write with, Jack and Miss Debbie can help you get a pen or pencil. There's some up on the front table here as well. Okay. Okay. So Jack, they may need a few pencils here and there. They're up on the front table here. Okay. So with the core values, when you know the right things that are important to put on the inside of you, right? Because we tell the kids, when you're under pressure, when you're under stress, it's like squeezing you. And if you are like a lemon, right, and you have kind of sourness and you're angry or bitter on the inside, when you squeeze a lemon, what comes out of a lemon, guys? Sour lemon juice. We have to put sugar to make it lemonade, right? But if you are a peach, right, where you've got goodness and kindness, right, and you want to help other people as a leader, when you squeeze a peach, what comes out of it? Sweet peach juice, right? So our leaders have been trained to be the peach, right? That when they're squeezed under pressure, they're not faking it on the outside, because on the inside is what counts, right? It's going to come out as sweet peach juice. So we ask the kids in every adventure, imagine that this point is today, right? Now, Lily, can you change your past? What can you change? The future, right? So we're not looking backwards, we're looking forwards. And out there is a wonderful future for all of our kids, right? No matter what your circumstances, because it's not where you started life, it's where you finish, right? We want to finish strong. So I can ask Justin, if I connect today to my wonderful future, what is the shortest distance between those two? A straight line.
Right.
So we want to help the kids see what their future could be, set goals, and now work towards that goal. That means you have to avoid what, guys? Distractions, right? We want to get to a hope and a future and avoid distractions. So each of our 7 toolkits was a toolkit to help eliminate or reduce some of the distractions in life, right? So with this approach, if we can avoid the distractions, some of the kids call it the squiggly line, right? And as adults, I think we all have distractions too, right? It's a lifelong journey. We're trying to eliminate or reduce those distractions so we stay focused on our positive future. So if someone's asking you kids to take drugs or things that you know aren't good for you, what do you say?
No.
Because you have a greater yes, right? You want to get to your future. And Jack is one of our NT partners here who's helping the kids. We have several, thanks to our partner here, Alex, providing a NT mentor and coach for us. He is coaching basketball, right? And so he knows that it's important to keep your kids focused on the goal, right? You got to win the game. Don't let all the distractions or the ups and downs. You're focused on doing your very best. So with this journey, we then have the kids try to use real concrete examples to make this work for them, right? So like in a car, the rear view mirror is small. Why is that, guys? Right, you got to kind of look back and learn from your past, but you don't dwell on the past. The windshield is very big because what? You got to look to your future, right? So we kind of check the past, what did we learn, but we focus on the future. We don't get stuck in the past, right? So that's why our program is also a trauma-informed care program. We help kids get over the hurts in life, whether it was a bully or any other family challenges they might have been through, school, whatever it might be, physical, mental, emotional. We can learn to heal from the past, so we put all of our energy and believe that we have a great future. Is that right, guys?
Yeah.
That's what we've been learning. So we use several different kinds of metaphors, examples for the kids. One of them is a choice. Do you want to be a weather vane or a compass? Now a weather vane points in what direction? Spencer, what is a weather vane points where? Wherever the wind's going. It's like their emotions. So parents, have you ever had your kids say, I don't feel like doing my chores, I don't feel like doing my homework, I don't feel like going to school? Has that ever happened? Well, we say that's weather vane thinking. Because then we ask you adults, have you ever woken up in the morning and you didn't feel like going to your job or your obligation, right? But what do? You go because you're a compass, right? The compass always points in what direction, guys? North. It's always doing the right thing. You can count on it, right? So you don't go by how you feel, you do the right thing, and you get then good results in life. But weather vane people, what do? They follow what everyone else is doing. You ever heard that excuse, parents? Well, everyone else is doing it, so that's the excuse for doing something that isn't necessarily very wise, right? But our GPS graduates now know that you follow the principles of success. And even if everyone else is going the other direction, if you know the right thing to do, what do you guys do? You go in the right direction. And then, guess what? Some people start following you. because they just didn't, they were brave enough to kind of go do the right thing. They were following in with the group, right, just to follow along. But our leaders are now training to do the right thing and create then the opportunity for others to start following them. That's when you know you're a leader, right? But our weather-vane people live a sad life. Because who are they focused on, guys? Themselves, right? Kind of selfish, right? Do they always get what they want when they want it?
No.
So they have adversity. You know, we tell the kids, we're the richest country in the world, but we have the most disappointed people. And I've been to Haiti, and I've been to the Philippines, and often people there don't expect all the stuff that we have here, thinking the stuff is going to make you happy. But it doesn't, right? But sad people, they get upset when they don't have what someone else has, and so that disappointment settles in, right? And they end up wandering, looking for the things that somehow they think that they want, but they don't necessarily need, right? But our GPS kids, they're focused on guidance, making proactive choices, and creating then good luck. And we tell the kids, it's not just a shake of the dice, I have good luck or bad luck. It's really the decisions you make. Now, life doesn't always treat us fairly or always easy, right? But it's not what happens to you in life, it's how you choose to respond to it. And I'm sure with all of us here, the mayor can tell you stories where some bad things have happened, but he made a choice to move in a direction, right? To help North Tonawanda be all that it can be, right? Sometimes it's not easy. So we have the kids learn how their brains learn. So we have the primitive brain in the back, that's our weather vane, that's your animal fight or flight, right? So animals, you know, when they're under pressure, you see fight or flight. Well, if we fall to our animal level, are we going to make mistakes, guys?
Yes.
Absolutely. So instead, we want to work with our frontal lobe. We were given a brain for a purpose, right? Our frontal lobe helps us to reason and think through situations. So we want to then make a compass intention to think through, take wise counsel if you're not sure. But kids, our frontal lobe, as powerful it is, it's not fully developed to what age? 25. So we asked the kids, anyone 25 in here? And they all admitted that they weren't. That was good. Sometimes kids will say that anyways, right? But they then asked, who is 25 in your life? So kids, right now, point to someone you know who's older than 25. You don't have to say their age, right? But they're older than 25. So not only do they have a fully developed frontal lobe to make decisions, but they have life experience, wisdom, right? And our kids, they get caught in the technology paradigm. Parents, you ever heard that? We're the latest, greatest phone, computer, that's what you want. Something that's old, like my parents' life experiences, that must be ancient, like caveman history or something, that couldn't possibly be relevant. But we say, no, it's the technology that gets outdated. Wisdom is eternal. So we told the kids the key is to be coachable. Listen to the adults in your life, especially the ones that love you. They're trying to coach you and help you. Your parents, your teachers, your coaches, your mentors, the leaders in our communities, they're all here to help you. But if you're not listening to them, you're going to miss out on the wisdom. And then you'll end up making mistakes that you will regret, right? So I grew up in a family of 7 kids. I watched my older brothers and sisters make mistakes. And I guess at a young age, somehow the Lord just inspired me to say, you know, if I'm going to make a mistake, I'm going to make a unique mistake. So I watched them and I avoided lots of mistakes, right? So if we know how our brain works, it's an amazing tool, right? It's a miracle. But if you don't use it, you're not going to get much advantage from it. You'll end up like the primitive animal stage. So our 7 toolkits are like a staircase to success. They start with proactive responsibility, right? Making good decisions that you have to take responsibility for your life, all the way to the highest level that we finished with today, teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work, right guys? So we had to learn though, it's not just about getting together, it's about working together. So the kids all realize that their families are a team, right? Are you helping the team? Some teenagers, you know, they come home, check into the room and expect room service, right? That's not what your family's about. You're a team, you help. Your parents are working hard, they're the team leader, right? So we work with the team leader. So we've been working on each of these toolkits, one building on the next, to get to this highest level because we accomplish most in life when we're working in teams. So here is our straight line opportunity we said before. Well, life is challenging. And so like up here we have the Niagara River. Can you imagine, here's today, your wonderful future's on the opposite side. Not saying that Canada's better, but just the opposite side of the river. You want to get to your future, but the current of the river of life. If you tried to swim across, what would happen to you guys? Maybe pulled under, right, by the culture and everything. But if we had stepping stones, right, of where we rise above the fray, the currents of life, we can stay focused and get to our future. So Character GPS helps our kids create that straight line. So we have our PR, proactive responsibility, right? Making good decisions. But is that enough to get you to your future?
No.
Well, that's just a starting point, but you're headed in the right direction. Then we have my favorite, CD, which stands for what, guys? Can do. I was raised with a can-do attitude. Sounds corny, but that was my family. We're the Canes, Texan Canes. So CD now, just because you then persevere, you learn how to learn, you're making then the choices to stick with it, right, to solve problems, does that get you to your future?
Yes.
No. So we need another stepping stone, TD. Now our football players love touchdowns, right? But our program, TD, stands for Talents Discovered, right? When you discover your talents, so that all the kids in the mini Myers-Briggs will learn that they all have a natural toolkit. So some kids, compared to others, they say, oh, they're smarter, they're better. Everyone is gifted. Everyone has talents. You have to learn what it is. You have to develop it like muscle. And once you have the confidence from that, then you can learn all sorts of other talents, right? So from TD, we go then, what's the next step? V is for vision. So you got to set goals. You got to have things that help motivate you to avoid the distractions. Otherwise, you get sucked in. We tell the kids, if you don't know what you stand for, you'll fall for anything, right? That's how we get caught up, right? Doing what other people are doing when maybe it's not the right thing to do. So just having a vision, does that get you to your future? We need another stepping stone on 3T, managing your
Time, temptation, and treasure.
Yeah, these guys know this, right? Managing yourself. Now, this is a lifelong journey. All of us adults know it's still a challenge. Am I using my time wisely? Can I resist the temptations, things that look good, right? And do I use my treasure wisely, right? So the kids learn how to do budgets. We did all sorts of neat stuff. They're learning life skills, which gives them the confidence that they're ready for this world out here. So just because you can manage yourself, is that enough to get to your future? No, we need MR, which stands for
Meaningful relationships.
healthy relationships. Having relationships that aren't healthy can actually be a distraction, right? You get caught up in all the drama. So we know like Jerry Springer, you know, that some people think that's entertaining. It's too painful for me to watch, right? But all this conflict, that is draining. It gets you away from focusing on your future. So once you can manage yourself, now you can learn to have helpful, meaningful relationships. The relationships that are important to get to our final stepping stone here, thank you, which is TLC stands for Teams, Love, Collaboration. There we go. Yeah, we need the TLC. We need some tender love and care in our team, right? But the key is to love teamwork. You love to collaborate. You share your ideas and you build things that you wouldn't do on your own, right? And I'm sure the mayor does that all the time.
Quit picking on me.
I'm not being bold, right? Okay, so the teams, though, is the highest level. That is where we accomplish the most, right? So now, if we have all 7 of these toolkits, can we get to our goals, guys?
Yes.
That is great. So this is how Character GPS works in a nutshell. Now we're going to kind of give you a quick overview. This is the roadmap. It's on the back of their journey guide. So the kids will be taking home. They've been taking great notes, which is also helping them to learn how to learn, how they're going to do great in school. And we had some of our students said to their parents, I'm going to try to do better in school, get better grades. And they said, no, wait, I will get better grades, right? We don't just try, guys, right? We make a commitment, we will do it, and we find a way to make it happen. So here's our 7 toolkits, the values that go along, and then what we pledge at the end. So every adventure, the kids stood up, we pledged together that we're going to now apply these things in our life so we get to see the fruit from it. So we also have a tool called CQ. Now we've all heard of IQ, right? Intelligence quotient, and we have some really smart kids. And we have EQ, emotional quotient, you got to manage your emotions. But both of those are really founded on our CQ, our character quotient. Because if you can't learn how to manage yourself and work with relationships and so on, your IQ and EQ aren't going to get you too far, right? You've got to have good character in order to utilize all the resources you have in life. So the kids rated themselves where they started at the beginning of this week with a circle, and then how far they progressed in just 5 days. And we saw a lot of squares moving down that pike. Now, of course, 4, that's kind of like the whole life journey. But some of our kids thought they were already there, which was kind of neat, right? And that shows that they really feel confident. They've learned a lot here. So our program, we often do it during the school year as a 16-week program. Once a week. These kids got the whole thing in 1 week, 5 days. They can be very proud of how much they have learned. So, we are, as an anti-bullying program, every single of our adventures, all 7, had tools to help them work on overcoming the bullying, building their confidence, understanding how to handle bullies, because there's not just bullies in the kid world, but Bob, there's bullies in the adult world too, right? So we have to handle them everywhere. We have to know how to handle ourselves and handle other people. Because other people are hurting. They're struggling. And sometimes we can understand why they may not always be easy to work with. So the other things we mentioned about is being trauma-informed. So we want to be able to build the confidence in our kids that they're not looking backwards, they're looking forwards. But sometimes kids that are struggling, they say, I'm a victim, like poor me. But we teach them, no, you are a victor, right? You can accomplish, you can overcome. Sometimes they say, I can't be responsible. You ever heard kids tell you that? I'm just not responsible. It kind of gets them off the hook. No, you can make good choices that will help you for a lifetime. Sometimes they say, I'm broken, right? And they just kind of give up. No, you are capable. And this week they were believing and seeing that they were learning how to be capable in many of these skill areas. Some of them say, I'm not smart. Well, we know that's not true. You can learn how to learn. And we watched the movie, The Gifted Hands, the Ben Carson story. As a little boy, he thought he was dumb. His mom said, no, you're not. And he became an amazing neurosurgeon, right? So it's not where you start in life, it's where you finish. But you've got to believe in yourself. And you need coaches and mentors, right? Helping you to believe in yourself. Now, sometimes kids, because of what's happened to them, they say, I'm worthless. And sometimes we ask the kids, why do you feel that way? And it's because I've been told so. Negative messages. But we tell them, you are how much are you worth, guys? Priceless, right? Nothing can change that. Now, sometimes they don't see that they're talented. But now they've learned, I can discover and develop my talents. They are in control of their life. Sometimes they think I don't fit in, right, with the group. But guess what? Just be a leader. You don't have to fit in. Do the right thing, and the people will start working with you because they see you're headed in the right direction. I'm alone. Sometimes we feel that way, right? But again, you have a family team. You have people that love you. You can build the friendships in life. Don't go it alone in life. Build the teams, right, wherever you are. And of course, I'll have to figure things out myself. That really is sad, right? That's like the school of hard knocks. But no, we can then be coachable and learn from others. So remember, guys, we watched that clip from the Karate Kid, right? So he had to learn that waxing on and waxing off, all the chores he was doing was actually building skills, right? So when your parents are asking you to do those chores, remember, they're ninja masters. They're teaching you some skills that you may not realize, right? But this is the process of moving from negative to positive, right? Building their confidence on the inside. So in our program, when our kids graduate, as your kids are today, we then have mentors, kids that are graduates, come back and help coach the kids, and they learn leadership skills. But we don't just have them like boss the kids around. That's not the kind of leader. We have servant leaders, right? So our servant leaders learn, like pop the popcorn for the kids during movie time, and they do things to help serve, and they model the behaviors of leadership. Well, our next level, once kids are mentors, they can then join our anti-bullying mentor leadership club. And then we have a pledge against bullying, and then they make a plan. How are they going to help stop bullying in their circle of influence, at school or home or wherever it might be? And every quarter we check in with them on how their plans are going. So we give them different leadership opportunities to keep developing along the way we go. Now we have leaders that have come in during the week. So we had Senator Rob Orr come in the first day, and he was telling the kids again why bullying is wrong, right? and how to make plans to get to your positive future. So we're really thankful for Rob coming in. So our first adventure, then I'm going to hit these real quick here, is our PR, proactive responsibility, right? Now what are we saying here? You got to turn things around and not be reactive or animal instincts, right? You got to slow down, create the freedom to make the best choice. So like in anger management, what's a good strategy to calm yourself down so your frontal lobe can kick in? You can do what? Anyone remember? You can cope, you can count to 10, right? By the time you get to 10, hopefully you're calming down, right? You can say, excuse me for a minute, like our customer service. You step aside, let the emotions out, then you come back and you smile. How can I help you, right? Even with difficult customers. So the opportunity is creating freedom in your life to make the best choices, create your good luck. So we had an exercise called Stab the Potato. And it looks kind of impossible to take this plastic straw and stab it through a solid potato. And when they take just a stab at it, it doesn't work. But when they learn the technique to do it, right? What was the technique, guys? Thumb goes on top of the straw to trap the air, make the straw stronger. And then you do what? Swoosh, right? We build momentum. We don't just stop at something. We go all the way through. And it goes through the potato. It's amazing, right? So that's how we learn proactivity. You train and prepare, and then in the moment, you're ready to perform. So once the kids understand this, we can now put this on the inside of them. So we used an iceberg. It's kind of the metaphor again, that the tip of the iceberg is what people see, right? What is that? 10% is the tip of the iceberg. So that means how much is below the surface?
90%.
90% is your character on the inside, right? So some people try to fake it, but you can't fake it, especially if you're squeezed under pressure. What's on the inside will come out. So that 90% of who you are on the inside is where our character develops. So when we say we are going to be truth owners, we're going to practice truth, we're saying we have to practice honesty, integrity, balance, discernment, keeping promises. How many days does it become a habit? 30 days, and now it comes to the surface. And even under pressure, people see that we're trustworthy. We have self-respect, we have healthy relationships, right? Because we're practicing the right values. So what we tell the kids is that if you are willing to not be a victim, you can coach each other to success. So here was Briley and Anna Rose out there. Miss Debbie had this chalk and they're doing artwork because one of their gifts here is art. And this reminded me of 3 years ago when Anna Rose was in our camp going through the first time. And she also learned back then not to be a victim, right? See, I told you I'd surprise you with this, right? So Anna Rose, we want to thank you for being a mentor. So Anna Rose has her hero in the mirror. So all the kids, again, wrote positive words about themselves. We have a picture, and we give it to the kids so that they can put it on their nightstand. Anna Rose, can you come up here? We're going to give her her official Mentor GPS certificate. Can we get a picture? Do we have a camera? Okay. All right. All right. I'm going to shake your hand. Congratulations, right? Anna Rose, good job. And now you can be proud that you are officially a Character GPS mentor. All right. Okay. You can stay in front of the projector if you want. So you take a right step in front. There we go. Okay, thank you.
Better way.
There's teamwork. Thank you so much, Anna Rose. It's great to have you. All right, so with our mentors like that, we build again for success.
As well, continue here. Get your voice to that ring. T-Ball trying to run on the corner. T-Ball got first down here. He might score.
Never gave up. As I was telling you, I was raised from a family of 7 kids. My dad was the last of the Texan Kings, but then he had 7 kids, right? So we solved that problem. But now he had a new problem. He had to raise 7 kids with my mom, right? But we learned to have a can-do attitude. That's kind of corny, but you couldn't go to my folks and say, you can't do something. Because immediately they would say, what, guys?
You can't do
Your name's Kane, you can't do it, end of discussion. So we didn't waste time making excuses why we couldn't do things. We had to find a way that you can't do it, right? It was a great lesson to learn. And the kids now, we've adopted all of your kids now, they're Texan Canes, so that's okay. But we'll let you still take them home. Okay, so this was the opportunity to understand how important coaching from a young age is, right? And of course, then we had Miss Kathy come in for Can Do because she was trying to inspire the kids that they can learn to do anything, musical instruments or voices. And this led us then into our Talents Discovered, right? So Kathy, thank you for coming here. And Kathy, we have a certificate if you come up here. Thank you for being a hero of the day for us.
Thank you for asking.
Thank you so much. And I look up to Kathy.
So do I.
All right. So our heroes of the day, they kept having people come in to just tell the kids that what you're learning really works. It's really important in the real world, right? So again, getting them connected to how people are living these principles helps them do well. And of course, when we had some time outside, we spent a lot of time learning, but we took breaks and had some fun with other things too, right? So we had our cornhole throwers, right? And they had a can-do attitude to get those in the hole, so we had a lot of fun. Now, just sharing with you, during the pandemic was really hard on our kids. Being stuck at home and being isolated, all those kind of things had a real effect on our kids. But I just share this with you because during the pandemic, Miss Debbie and I, we did not shut down the Character GPS program because we knew the kids needed human connection, human coaching. So in a safe way, right, we had the kids continue our classes, and out of the blue, the state of Florida gave us this award for Community Heartbeat because they realized that we stuck with it. We had that can do despite the circumstances, right? So just showing when you do the right thing, sometimes people will just recognize what you're doing, right? So being a leader is a good thing. So with that, we've been doing this now 10 years. We measure our program, we show how it works to help kids, and so we've been receiving grants from the state of Florida starting back in 2016, and they keep supporting our program, and we keep helping more kids as they keep adding on because we continue to help reach more kids with these principles of success. Now, we still have donors because there's a lot of expenses, but they help at least to set off some of the costs of actually running the classes, the materials, and things like that. We created a guns and gang awareness piece, and we shared with the kids how we can then overcome that situation too, right? And we just got renewed for another year, and it's kind of, you know, we're here to serve kids, but every once in a while you kind of need a little attaboy encouragement. So they said that we were the epitome of what the DJJ, Department of Juvenile Justice, Prevention wants in their provider. So how about that? Thanks to my wife, we couldn't do it by myself. We do this together as a team. We, with our board and all of you that support us, we believe that our kids are our future. So I used to be a vice president of human resources for Raymond James, a financial company down in Tampa. I had 10,000 employees, but the Lord just kind of told me one day, you know, it's great making all this money, but our kids are our future. So that's when I left Raymond James. We created this program from all the leadership training we've done, and we have now been doing it 10 years because these kids are our future, and these are our future leaders, right? So maybe you'll be mayor, right? Or senator, or whatever you can do to help change the world, make it a better place. So the kids were looking at their talents. So as we had heroes come in, we would describe their story. So this girl was 4 years old when she started learning the piano in her dad's music store. By age 13, she developed her talent. She was teaching adults. She went on to get a master's degree in concert performance and piano. And I just amazed. My fingers don't even move that fast. But where is the music coming from, kids? She's memorized all this, right? It's really amazing. So who is this wonderful pianist? share that passion of music. But I tell that story because here we are in Nat's music where Debbie started, with her dad, her sister, her family, learning their love of music and passing that passion on. And so we love the passion that Kathy and Steve and really the whole team that they have formed here, sharing that ability to develop your kids' talents. And musicality is another intelligence, right? All these things help you to have a great life. So, we did a mini Myers-Briggs. They learned there's 16 different personality types, and we then had them stand proud for each of their different talents, right? Now, kids, were we all the same?
No.
Is that good or bad?
Good.
It's good, right? Because our differences we can put together and do things that we couldn't do on our own. If everyone was the same, it'd be cookie cutter, it'd be pretty boring, right? But we have an exciting world to build teams with, and you guys were so great. We're going to miss you guys, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
we will.
So, this is our camp 3 years ago, and I think Anna Rose can find herself in there. She was pretty excited when she was getting all this, right? So we just continue to carry on. It's a process that just works, and we just so love, it's such a privilege to get to do this and to, again, help these great kids that we have here today that we're celebrating. So in Adventure 4, though, guys, it's about making good decisions, right? Now in life, you have to answer 3 questions. What do I need to have? What do I need to do? And who do I need to be? But the order that you answer these are so important, right? So in the world of advertising, what do the advertisers want you to focus on? You gotta have all this stuff, right? The stuff that's supposed to make you happy. But you have to have all of it, and you do things to get it, and you may end up being broke, in debt, right? Trying to get all that stuff, right? So it's not the outside. Remember, we don't judge a book by its cover. It's not what you look like on it, it's who you are on the inside. And so Lily was our archer. She loves archery. So we said, what do you aim at when you see a target? And she says, the bullseye, the bee, right? You focus on what you do and not do, say no to, and then you're going to have the things in life that money can't buy, right? A sense of pride in yourself, confidence, sense of accomplishment, right? Money can't buy those things. So this is the opportunity to have vision. So we had the kids working on their vision statements and looking forward, not backward. So we did role plays, and the kids loved to kind of, ham it up. And then we have some shy kids, and at first they're not so happy doing role play, but then they get up and they start to build the confidence, and then they love practicing on the stage of life, right? So we had some great experiences there, Amelia and Lily working away at that role play. So then we learned that there's tools that can help us to get to our vision, right? We call it SMART goals. And guys, remember what the SMART acronym stands for? S is specific, M is measurable, A attainable, R relevant, and T is time-bound. So we take what we are thinking we'd like to be someday, and we put together a plan. So it's not like just throwing a penny in a wishing well. We create a plan for success. Because people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan, right? So they learn that they can use this for career planning, they can do it for financial planning, big or small, they can put goals and get a plan so they can then achieve it and build their confidence and their success. Pretty cool, right? So here's Isabella, and she has a great singing voice. She's been taking lessons at Nat's Music, right? And so she kind of thought, my goal is to win American Idol, right? Miss Debbie loves American Idol. So she figured it will be, about an 8-year plan, right? And you figured it all out? So in 8 years, when you see Isabella on, please vote for her, right?
I'll vote 10 times for her.
Yeah, okay, so she's going to make it. We're very excited. So that's a great picture. So we kind of had fun doing different things to stimulate the kids' imagination, sorry. So I pulled out my little archery set. We can't have weapons in here, so just I got a little plaything. But I pretended I was going to shoot at that bullseye, and then I said it was too easy, too close, right? So I had Miss Debbie then blindfold me. And I said it was still too close. And some of the kids believed I could still hit it. It was great, right? Then I had Miss Debbie turn me around like pin the tail of the donkey, right? And then I started kind of like, they were dodging and everything, right? But I took my blindfold off because even though in life we can sometimes get blindsided, right? Or we can get turned around. But if we have a target, and Max knows this. Max is going to be a math teacher, right? You have a probability. As long as you have a target, you have a probability of hitting it. But I had a better chance, blindfold, turned around, hitting my target, than you if you don't have a target at all. But kids sometimes are afraid to set goals, targets, right? Because of fear of failure, right? Oh, I could fail, right? But see, you automatically fail when you don't have the target, right? So we learn to be confident in starting to set these goals. So with our 3T, just real quick, we learned time management. And that's something that's a lifelong journey, right? At Raymond James, I had to do a lot of time management because time is money, right? So we learned that the best way to invest your money is in which of these? The must-do, distraction, escape, or preparation, guys? You invest in preparation, right? Then the must-do, you do great. So in sports, you practice and then you win the game. In school, you study, do your homework, and then you what? Ace the test, right? You create the good luck from preparation to must-do. But what happens if we escape and we just start wasting our time? Playing video games day or night, don't come to dinner, not doing our homework, right? We can get addicted down there in escapism. Make your life so great you don't have to escape from it. Isn't that great? That's what these kids were working on this week. So they're investing their time now in preparation to create a great life. So they did a little diagnosis, analysis of where they were spending time, and we realized it's not a boy or girl, it's a people problem. And we realized that, yes, indeed, we are sometimes wasting some time, right? So we had the kids then decide to break some bad habits and build some good habits and invest in their future, just like they did for these 5 days. So pretty neat stuff. So we had Steve Chabone coming in to tell us a little bit about how important it is to manage your money well. Steve, could you come up for us, please? Another hero on our 4th day. Yeah, came in to speak some real. Just like Kathy, I look up to Steve too.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you so much for being a hero for us. So when the kids start to hear more about the real world, but they're not scared of it, they're excited, they're prepared for it, they can build the confidence to pursue it. So then we have meaningful relationships based on the golden rule. And who knows the golden rule? Who's got it? Yes? Treat others the way you want to be treated, right? Win-win thinking. And that can start at home. So we were talking about, are you in a win-win relationship with your parents? Are you trying to honor your parents and support your parents, but then communicate with your parents what your needs are? Right? Your parents want to help you. But if you just say, oh, my friend, I want to go to the store or the mall or whatever, drop everything, your parents can't always drop everything, right? That's not a win-win. So instead, we had the kids learn how to respect, how to negotiate. What do you need me to do? How can I help you get my chores done, my homework done, help you do some things? Then there will be a time convenient to take me to the store. And usually your parents will then find a way to do that, right? You're not demanding, you're negotiating a win-win. And that's a great way to have relationships in life. Again, as your kids, in the adult world, right? And I know that in politics, you guys have to negotiate a lot of times to get win-win solutions, right? So that's the way life is. It's all based on respect. So read it right and get it right. You gotta respect everyone's special personality, ethnicity, culture, and talents. And when you got respect, right, you're gonna have great things in life. So first we respect our parents, right? Our adults in our life. We respect our friends. We also respect ourselves, right? So that we have healthy relationships. Just a little bit to go a long way, right? So we were working on that mister. The kids did exercises working together to build healthy relationships. So then we came to our highest level, TLC. Teams love collaboration, and working to solve puzzles and problems is really good, because a puzzle that you have to solve by yourself can sometimes be hard, right guys? We gave you some hard puzzles. They weren't impossible, but they were hard. But when you work together, you solve them together, it's not only more fun, it's more productive. So we gave them a series of puzzles. They maybe get a few on their own, but then when they work together, they could get them all done together, right? So they experienced teamwork. And so we had them watch a 3D movie with our special 3T, right? 3T 3D glasses, not available in any store, right? As we watch movies because we're getting a new perspective on life, how things work. So we had some fun with that. And of course, we know the principle, two are better than one. So when we build friendships and work together, we get a lot more done. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, 5 days of a lot of learning that we did. But we all learned that teamwork, if you have teamwork, then guess what? Nothing is impossible, right? Put together, again, what does it take to be successful in life? That means you gotta have what? You gotta have character, principles, values, good habits, faith, believe in yourself, and energy, right? Freedom from addiction. And when you put success and energy together, what do you get back? Synergy, right?
It takes a little time, takes a little time. It takes a little time to see. I said it takes a little.
So, our kids are now ready to roll up their sleeves and work together in their families, their school, their sports teams, wherever they are this summer, maybe in North Tonawanda sports programs or summer camps, to be successful in life. So now we're going to go to our next